The second season of the PBA League is underway. 8 star-studded teams owned by some of the biggest names in sports and entertainment. Today, Hall of Famer Norm Duke and the Dallas Strikers, owned by NFL great Terrell Owens, take on Chris Hartwood's Silver Lake Atom Splitters and franchise player Chris Barnes in a format that features singles, doubles, trios, and 5-on-5 team play. It's an all-or-nothing battle on the road to the Elias Cup Final. The winner advances, the loser goes home, and it starts right now on ESPN. Welcome to Thunderbolt Lanes in Allen Park, Michigan. Mike Jakubowski, Hall of Famer Randy Peterson with Kimberly Pressler as the PBA League quarterfinals continue with today's matchup. The Silver Lake Atom Splitters versus the Dallas Strikers. 2 of our original 8 teams have been eliminated, the LAX sending the Brooklyn Styles home in week 1, and the New York City WTT Kingpins ousting the Motown Muscle last week. Today's winner will advance to the semifinals where they will face the winner of the Pittsburgh Jackrabbits Philadelphia Hitmen quarterfinal.
Take a look at the PBA League format. 1 point for singles match, 1 point for doubles, which is the alternate shot, or what we like to call in the business Scotch doubles. There is a trios game and a team game worth 3 points.
A total of 4 points wins today's quarterfinal. The winner advances to the semis and the loser goes home. Today's team's bowling on the blue oil. More about that in a moment. We start with singles. Franchise players squaring off. Chris Barnes for the Atom Splitters and Norm Duke for the Dallas Strikers.
10-pin.
Woo!
Duke, the only player to also serve as a team manager in this year's PBA League. The Strikers roster also includes Rhino Page, Amleto Monicelli, Mike Machuga, and Dave Wadka. Wadka, the new addition.
Pretty stable roster. They picked up 1 player, Dave Wadka, and lost Brian Smith. Hey, guess where Brian Smith's at now? He's on the other team.
Clips it.
I'm not happy about that. You'll notice I didn't make fun of that flat 10 at all.
Yeah, they put an extra coat of paint on that 10-pin there. That's the only way Norm made it. And
a strike for Barnes. Take a look at the Atom Splitters roster. Managed by Mark Baker, a completely retooled team, as Barnes and Tom Barrett are the only returning players from last season.
And when you look at what they added from free agency, Wes Malott, Tommy Jones, great pickups. They drafted Brian Smith and lost Josh Blanchard and Stuart Williams to free agency.
Second frame singles match here in the PBA League, good for 1 point. And Barnes,
Candy Crush
strike. And there he is, the blue oil, 42 feet.
You can see the ball track there just inside third arrow, and the players are going to try to go pretty straight early on. And then once the oil pattern breaks down, they're going to migrate to the center part of the lane and look for more oil.
So we will keep an eye on it as play progresses and let you see the ball path and the breakdown. Now the 10-pin for Norm.
Back-to-back week 10s, Norm using 2 different bowling balls. The characteristics of this pair is the right lane outhooks the left lane. Norm Duke made a fortune with that type of down and in shot, that very soft hand end over end roll, and lately not a lot of success with it.
These two have met up before on television. As recently as last summer, our Ebonite flashback starts with Barnes versus Duke at the Milwaukee Open.
Now there's a nice trip 4-9 for Chris Barnes. This match was really close. It came all the way down to the 10th frame. Norm Duke had a chance to win. He got a strike on the first ball, left a flat 10. Chris Barnes wins sitting on the bench. And it was deja vu all over again at the King of Swing the very next week. Norm Duke right back in the same position. Again, this match coming down to the 10th frame. Barnes rolls another 4-pin. Norm Duke this time needs another double in the 10th, and he gets the double in the 10th.
Norm Duke voted to the PBA Hall of Fame in 2009 and the 7th greatest player in PBA history. Player manager for the Dallas Strikers.
Using 2 different bowling balls.
Oh, hell.
2-pin.
A little quick, missed it at the bottom and got it right at target.
Hit something.
3 frames, 3 single pins, 3 spares, and a flip of the grip sack. Old school to Barnes. Barnes a double. And an early lead here in this singles game, doubles, trios, and a 3-point team match to come.
Gosh.
Turkey
Nice
for
work.
Barnes.
Well, as we showed you, Barnes and Duke are no strangers on the lanes, and bowling fans have benefited when they've squared off.
Yeah, we've had some great matches over the years, and there's a lot of really close games that came down to 10th frames, and he's stolen a couple, and I stole one from him in there last summer too, and they always seem to come down to the end. So I guess it's a great matchup. I'm not so sure that I'm the guy in our team who's best in the arena with all the early friction that's in there, but that's the way it's set up as a franchise player. So we'll go head up with it.
Barnes in the 4th, managing the early friction to this point. What does Barnes mean by early friction?
That means in the first 15 feet of the lane, his ball tends to read it too early. The last thing you want is your bowling ball to hook early. You'll never get it to the break point consistently. You want your ball to skid through the first 15 feet of the lane, then pick up a slight roll in the mid lane, and then come off the end of the pattern with however much down lane change of direction you desire. But that's not going to happen consistently unless you get your bowling ball through the front part of the lane.
So perfect for Barnes thus far. Barnes 4 in a row, Duke up in the 4th frame. And Norm Duke, first strike in this singles tilt.
Come on, guys. Come on now. Rhino. Substitution, Rhino for Duke.
They're allowed to do that. They're allowed 1 substitution per match. That sub has to stay in.
Of course, the next frame, right? He stays in the rest of the game. Right, but I bowled my spare.
Norm will have to shoot his spare, and then Ronald Page will come in for him.
Well, this is the first substitution.
Substitute Duke for Barnes.
First substitution we've seen in singles competition. And I don't have to go to the commissioner to let you know that that would be an illegal move, Norm.
Yeah, that's pretty funny, though.
Got to stay on your own club. Cross lane picks up the 10-pin, and Norm is going to pull himself out.
All right.
How many? Thank you.
Chris Barnes, former collegiate bowler of the year at Wichita State University. He was a 2-time collegiate All-American there and a 12-time member of Team USA. Very familiar with team play on the front 4. 5th frame. Spins out the 4-5-7.
I'll go a little further right ahead, Ben.
Barnes is locked and loaded right now. Got some good pin carry as well. That never hurts. He's making some pretty good shots just inside second arrow, and he's just shredding the rack. This is a 42-pin match, and we're not to the 6th frame yet.
Barnes is perfect through 6. Big lead in singles. Norm Duke has pulled himself out of the lineup. We'll see what Rhino Page can do with the remainder of our singles match next.
Welcome back to the PBA League. We're halfway through our singles match between Chris Barnes of the Silver Lake Atom Splitters and Norm Duke of the Dallas Strikers. Time now for our Barbasol close shave of the day. Norm Duke in the first frame trying to pick up the 10-pin, and Norm just barely clips it for the spare. Norm dodges a bullet early here, but still today has not been his day, so manager Norm has pulled player Norm from this match and replaced him with the southpaw Rhino Page. And Norm is standing by with our Kimberly Pressler.
Thanks, guys. Norm, you didn't take your own advice. You said get all strikes to your teammates over there, but you pulled yourself out. What was going wrong with you on these lanes?
You know, on TV pairs, it's so common for players to go in and out of the momentum. I struck every ball right before practice, and now I'm on 10-pin. I need to learn a little bit about my lefty. I need to see if that bowling ball is heavy enough to strike. He has been under injury. He's thrown a 14-pound ball. I wanted to see it. If Barnes wasn't so doggone good, I would stay in and try to mount a charge against him, but I don't see him stop striking. I need to learn about Rhino Page at this point.
All right, back to you guys.
Nice work.
Very interesting to note, 14-pound bowling ball being thrown by Rhino Page.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if he can get it to hit hard enough. Rhino Page coming off of wrist surgery. He's worked his way up to 14 pounds. But, yeah, the question mark is, will it hit?
So Duke, in a sense, conceding this point and seeing what Rhino has. And Rhino opens from the left side with a powerful strike.
And powerful strikes seem to be all that Rhino Page threw in last year's PBA League competition. In the Carmen Salvino Classic, it came down to Page and Chris Barnes as the last two men standing in a Clash Eliminator competition that was featured last season. Both Page and Barnes were perfect, each with 7 strikes in a row. But then Barnes was the first to blink. And that was all Rhino Page needed, finishing off Barnes with a flourish, much to the delight of team owner Terrell Owens.
That's what I'm talking about, T.O.
And so here they are again, Barnes and Page facing off in Detroit. But this time it appears that Barnes may be impossible to catch no matter how much Rhino strikes.
Rhino Page absolutely fearless. You can see it in his eyes. He is determined, and he wants the ball.
There's the 7-pin.
Well, yeah, but that's not a weak 7. That's a ringing 7. That's okay. And that shows that the ball is going through the pins hard enough.
Page also very familiar with team competition. Member of Team USA in the past.
Watch the 4-pin. Second on the left. Around the 7. You know, I think his rev rate's high enough that there's enough friction on the lane for him to get that 14-pound ball to hit hard enough.
Now Barnes up on the front 6. 1 point for singles, 1 point doubles and trios. Games are next. Dallas Strikers versus the Silver Lake Atom Splitters. Silver Lake up here in the form of Barnes, 7th frame.
7-bagger.
Gimmick guy.
Team with the most points will advance to the semifinals in the PBA League, and the team that loses will be eliminated. And Barnes has the front 8.
Where are you going? Can I get some shot in before you come in?
He doesn't want you to spared. I guess Smith's not going to be
Brian Smith going over to the practice pair.
Barnes, right?
Maybe bowling in the doubles competition.
Looks like Machuga's already done the same for Dallas. Page finishing the string here for Dallas and the strike.
So far, so good in the power category for Rhino Page. No sign of the light 14-pound ball. And let's keep in mind that I don't know of any other player on tour that uses 14 pounds. It's either 15 or 16. And that 1 pound, once you go from 15 to 14, is a huge difference. 16 to 15, not so much. Just seems like the cutoff weight is 15 pounds. 14-pound balls, they don't react as hard as 15 and 16 because the dynamics of the bowling ball changes to take weight out of the bowling ball. But no week 7 thus far for Rhino Page.
Chris Barnes trying to stay perfect here, and it's certainly possible, especially since he's done it before on television. That was back nearly 2 years ago at the Geico Shark Open at the World Series of Bowling in Las Vegas. Barnes became only the 22nd player to ever bowl a televised 300 game, and did it in front of his wife and 2 sons.
Perfect. 9-bagger.
Not short.
Well, Chris Barnes has got a nice shim that he can pull that ball up against and hold the ball on line. Watch this. Pretty direct in between second and third arrow, and there's plenty of oil in the middle part of the lane for Chris to go down and at him. That's exactly what he's doing. That great roll, great hand, keeping it behind the ball and just rolling it end over end.
Wow. And that's it.
I didn't miss left that time. So,
Silver Lake secures the point. Up now 1-0 over the Dallas Strikers.
This ball just checked early. Watch it rev up real quick, and it broke loose off the end of the pattern.
Awesome game, brother. Awesome game, guys. Man, did you guys?
265 final for Silver Lake and Barnes. An interesting strategy by Norm Duke. He conceded the point early and was going after some knowledge. We'll see where Rhino shows up, whether in doubles or trios, and certainly on the team. What did Norm Duke learn by inserting Rhino Page into the lineup?
Well, you know, you heard Norm say it. I got to know that 14-pound ball is going to hit. And I think it's hitting fine. His carry's not very good. He's left a lot of 7-pins. That time he trips the 7 out. I mean, I think his carry's okay. He has no problem hitting the pocket.
This won't work.
He's going to switch balls now and give another ball a look to see if the reaction and the pin carry is any better than what he has.
Silver Lake on the board 1-0 over Dallas. Chris Barnes takes a perfect game into the 10th. We'll return with our doubles game right after this. The PBA League rolls on at Thunderbolt Lanes in Allen Park, Michigan. 1 point to the Silver Lake Atom Splitters by virtue of the 265-208 win, courtesy of Chris Barnes, who is standing by with Kimberly Pressler.
Thanks, Mike. Chris, you bowled perfect up until the 9th frame. Now you're going to be in the doubles match right now. Do you think your luck can continue?
Well, that crazy antic was great. It was great the first game, and I got away with a few bad shots. So hopefully I can execute a little better, and I get to bowl with my old roommate, Brian Smith, a great friend of mine for the last 15 years. We're looking to build on that momentum.
Good luck to you.
Thanks.
Mike Jakubowski with PBA Hall of Famer Randy Peterson. And Randy, you bowled doubles. Who was your doubles partner?
Well, I won a doubles tournament. It was the Touring Players Senior Doubles with the great Carmen Salvino back a few years ago, and that was in Cheektowaga, New York, and that was an unforgettable moment for me. But my touring doubles partner was Tom Kreitz, and Tommy Kreitz won a major, multiple tournament winner on the tour, and Tommy and I were a really good doubles team. Back in those days, the doubles tournament was contested at the old Showboat in Las Vegas, and Tommy and I, we were a force to be reckoned with in that tournament.
We've got a couple of doubles matchups here. First, for the Silver Lake Atom Splitters, Barnes staying in the lineup, and he's added Brian Smith to that pairing.
Yeah, I think that's a real solid lineup, and the reason why I say that is because, number one, these guys, you heard Chris say it, they're really good friends. They used to room together on tour, but Brian Smith can play the same line as Chris Barnes, and we saw how well that worked in that first match against Duke/Rhino Page. I think it's a great matchup.
And on the Dallas Strikers side, Norm Duke and Mike Machuga have a long path and a long past together.
Yeah, but I think there's a big question mark for that team for the simple fact that Norm Duke pulled himself out of the singles competition. Now he's back again to bowl doubles. I'm not so sure what's going to change in Norm's favor just because it's doubles. And on top of that, we haven't seen Mike Machuga throw a ball down the lane yet. So big question mark for that team.
Dallas Strikers trail by a point when we return. A point on the line in doubles here in Allen Park when we return to the PBA League.